Hello there, welcome to the Dezperate Actor YouTube channel. It's me, Steve Des from DesperateActor.com, and today we're going to be talking about Walmart commercial, the callback. So, if you've been following along this series, and I hope you have because we are doing this as chronologically in order as possible, um, you've seen that I've gone from essentially not being paid anything to making one of the biggest sacrifices of my life, which is basically fully investing in myself and my career and basically having no money, to then getting my first paid gigs that actually put me back on the actual plus. And now we are here where we have already auditioned for a Walmart commercial and now we got the callback. So the beautiful thing about callbacks, guys, and one thing you got to realize is that if they called you back for a reason, is because they really liked what you did and or your look. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to callbacks. You don't have to over stress yourself when it comes to callbacks unless there's changes. Like, for example, we did talk about my past experience for my first series that I did. And in that one, it went from me auditioning to be a college student to becoming the teacher in the callback. So for that one, I did have to scramble a bit just because, at first I was a very young looking college student to then trying to be an older looking teacher. So that I had to scramble a little bit but for these type of auditions, especially for callbacks, for these type of callbacks, especially for commercial in the commercial department, you don't have to do crazy much to reinvent the wheel. You just have to be absolutely prepared for everything. Make sure you got your lines together and make sure you listen to what the session runner wants from you. So the callback was in the same place in the west side of the actual Los Angeles, which is like Santa Monica, borderline Santa Monica Beach area, Beverly Hills, almost a little bit past Beverly Hills. And essentially, I knew that it was a tough part of town that I have to be there early. So this time I made sure I was there early because for my audition, I was scrambling, I was struggling, I was trying to find parking, I was doing the most. And essentially, what I ended up doing is being there early. And, being there early sometimes means that you have to wait a little longer because you're there early, but you will much rather be there early and prepared than be there late and unprepared. You know what I'm saying? So once I got there, I saw that there was a variety of different actors. The majority of them had white button ups. I had the pink button up. And essentially, we were all, instructed to do primarily more takes in Spanish this time than in English, but we will still do both. But they wanted to really focus and emphasize on the Spanish parts. So the script didn't change much. There were some tweaks here and there, but again, they did have as reference that whiteboard with the lines and changes that they did. So again, super extremely helpful that that was there. What I did this time, so I changed my strategy a little bit. And it's okay for you to know all these different rules and tips because it ultimately is going to propel your career forward and is going to prepare you for any scenario. So in this particular scenario, if you've been paying attention since last video to now, I told you guys that it's okay to cheat a little bit if you have like a reference that the session runner put, of course, not you, but like the session runner put a board that has the lines and everything. So in the first video and in the previous video, I was telling you guys that it's okay to cheat. And that's absolutely okay. I could have used the same technique this time. But this time I make sure that I was absolutely fully on book, off book, my bad, off book, because and off book just means that I'm fully memorized. Just because now is a callback. It's not the audition anymore. I'm not fighting for the callback. I'm fighting to get booked. So I gotta be flawless, as flawless as I can be, because now not only the session runner is looking at me, but producers are looking at me, directors are looking at me, all these people in production are looking at me. So it's a whole different scenario and environment, and they basically narrowed down the people that they would like to be part of this commercial, hopefully. So I made sure that first, I was fully memorized. Second, that I was there on time, earlier than ever. Third, that I had a good parking spot. Fourth, that I listened to everything that they wanted, the instructions and new blocking and things like that, because they might change the blocking, especially during the call time. I mean, especially during the callback, my bad. And the last thing that I did, which I changed my strategy here, I didn't necessarily cheat. So what I did is, prior of me slating and starting to do my thing, I just stared at the board and I just went over it like real quick, just to make sure that I have it. And I say, worst case scenario, I look quick and I look back. But I just by me doing that right before it started, I didn't even need to cheat at all. I just had it all in my head, and I just completely trusted in myself. And the more and more I trusted in myself, the easier it flowed. And I was able to execute flawlessly my lines, my blocking, everything that they wanted, I executed to an absolute perfection. I believe the callback, I did it twice. They wanted me to do it 2 times. They didn't give me any major notes, but if you get the chance, because sometimes you do it one and you're done. But if you do get the chance to do it once and they want it a second time and they give you some notes, make sure you apply those notes for that second one, because that might be your last opportunity. They might not give you a third time. It might be a first time. If you're lucky, you might get a second time, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes you do can get a third time or a fourth time, but in this particular case, they just gave me 2 chances. I did it the first time. They said, great, just do it one more time. So they didn't necessarily tell me, hey, change it or do anything. So I just went and did it, maybe with a tiny little sliver of a variation, just so they don't get the exact same take, even though they didn't tell me change something or anything. I just did it for the sake of them having a little bit of a difference from that first take that I did. And then I was off to my merry way, you know? And yeah, I left. I left feeling good. It's very important that every time you leave, whether it's an audition or a callback, that you always leave satisfied that you absolutely did your best, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to live with yourself. Because sometimes it's going to feel, man, I should have done better. And those are just things that you are going to carry to the next audition or to the next callback or to the next project. And it's best that you just literally leave everything in that room. That therefore you have a greater chance of doing better and getting booked. And not only that, but you don't beat yourself up, because at the end of the day, this industry, I get it that sometimes it's very nerve wracking, but it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be part of a growing process and part of your journey. And remember, what's meant for you is meant for you, and nobody's going to take it. And talking about that, I want to say what happened after this callback, but I got to leave you on a cliffhanger. So I'm going to tell you what happened with this Walmart commercial after the callback in the next story time that we have next week for y'all. So don't forget to like this video, share with a friend or two that might need it more than you do, subscribe, because it helps us find incredible more people like you. And don't forget to comment below. Have you been through an experience like this? Tell me about your callbacks experiences. Have you learned anything from this series? Please leave it in the comments below. I would really like to know. And for any guidance, audio coaching, free and premium services that we have, everything is available at desperateactor.com. So make sure you go there and you check it out because we have so many resources there for you. Okay. So, anywho, that's all for me today. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.